Hey friends, how are you? I wanted to first of all introduce you to Karen Ben Zimra up in the Galila Lyon, the Upper Galilee. And this is a Deer Winery. It's a beautiful little place nestled over here in this historical area of Ben Zimra. So I wanted to share a little bit about individuality and the balance between finding individuality and doing the collective thing that all of us are usually doing or meant to do, and how to find the balance. So, and I'm talking about on the spiritual level as well as a very practical level. You know, if you've been to Manhattan lately, people walking, they're just like a whole horde of people walking at the same time. And I remember the first time that I noticed that, I was like, all these people walking with briefcases, where are they going to? They all look the same. They all have the same expression. What's going on over there? And so only later on I found out, you know, after work, they feel like they have to, whatever it is, and to express themselves. And so the Torah gives us the recipe for a healthy individuality. And in this week's reading called Naso, it talks about the sacrifices of the 12 tribes. Each one of the 12 tribes, the leaders of the 12 tribes, gave the same sacrifice. And that sacrifice is spoken about over there in those verses. And it's kaf echad, one bowl of oil. One was made, and another bowl of kesef, of silver, and these types of oxen, one ox and one ayil and one pot. Each one, they were all the same. And the question which is asked by most commentators is like, why are they all the same? They're basically the same idea. So why doesn't the Torah just write them all up at the same time? Just say all 12 leaders brought the same exact sacrifices. And the answer which is given is that, yes, each one brought their sacrifice, and it was similar to the other one, but it was completely different based on the personal expression of that particular leader of the tribe. And that's where it's really all about. Individuality isn't just about what you wear and where you get it from and how much it costs, and all those details are irrelevant. What's more relevant is what you put into the equation, what you put into things. And your individuality comes out. And just, I had these thoughts about Netta Barzilai, and now in the Eurovision. Now, I don't know if you've seen that song, but I mean, I just saw it, and it's totally not my speed and not my genre or whatever. And however, I thought that she was unique and ahead of the pack of perhaps the others, because she was this individual. She expressed herself in a different type of a way. And within her package, within her physical package, which was definitely different than everyone else, you could see a very unique individuality. And I think that really spoke out to the world. That is something that really was different. It wasn't just like the same external things that everyone's already used to, and it's really not enticing. It's not attracting anymore, more than what the person is really inside, who the person is, and how they're able to really express themselves and to really portray that. And that is ultimately the most important thing. And so we don't have to go out there and wear all these different things and wear these different colors and, to gain attention. Your attention is perceived, and people look at you, whether you know it or not, based on who you really are, what you're really emanating, what you're really expressing. And so each tribe had its unique individuality. And in fact, it says that in the crossing of the Sea of Reeds, there were 12 different paths. And in a synagogue, there's supposed to be 12 different windows, because each window has its unique path. And so too, each and every one of us have our unique path. And even though we may it may appear to others or to ourselves that we're just like one of the same, but at the same time, that unique individuality is something that we need to, we need to take heed of and to really express within us. So how do we cultivate that? How do we cultivate that individuality? And so cultivating that individuality is actually through looking into your intellectual strengths. And intellectual strengths is what you're good at and even what you're not good at, and buckling down on what you're good at and understanding what you're not good at, because those are both who we are. We're good at things and we're not good at things. And then what type of creativity really speaks to you? Because the creative part of who you are is really who you are. The creativity in you is something which is your expression. That's really your gift to the world. So while your intellectual aspects and faculties are super important, and all of us need to spend time learning and delving into topics, etc., but then finding that level of individuality within the prayer, within the level of our inner expression, the creative side, the artistic side, is something that comes out. And so the artistic side does not have to be flary and full of flowers and full of this and that. The creative part could be anything. Everyone is a creator in whatever they are creative in. So you could have a creative kindergarten teacher, and you could have a creative garbage man. If that's how they're doing their job, it's how they perceive what they're doing and the amount of creativity that they're having. With whatever menial job to the most important jobs, to the highest jobs, all have to be done with that inner creative expression. So that inner intention is the intention of those nesi'im, of those leaders of the tribe, and that's what they really give over to us. That idea that each and every one of us that are within that tribe are zoned in, and we're connected to our inner creator, that inner artist, etc., that is within us. So some food for thought, and in the meantime, so regards from Karen Ben Zimra and from Adir Winery, where it's a beautiful place, and I definitely urge you to come by for a brunch and to, definitely check it out. So in the meantime, wishing you an amazing rest of the week and many blessings.